The Dolphins got smacked, crushed like 28-6. Absolute incompetence. This has to be it, Stephen Ross. You're going to make a move for sure. Wake up Friday feeling good about the possibility of never seeing Mike McDaniel coaching or Chris Grier GMing. That as a Dolphins fan, you'll have a chance for one playoff win before your kid turns 25. Absolute performance by the Dolphins, worse than any other team in football. It's not close. You'll wake up, and there was a decision made for Chris Grier and the Dolphins to part ways. Do you know how many times I've seen a GM walk into a owner's office in the middle of a season and say, you know what, I'm good. I think we should go a different direction. I think we should mutually part ways. The next time I see it will be the first. You think Chris Grier walked into Stephen Ross's office after that game and said, I got to tell you, I stink. Forget getting rid of McDaniel. Forget the player personnel issues. I'm telling you, you want to fix this? Boom, you fire me. Boy, that's a level of selfless that just puts a little tear in my eye. A little tear in my eye that's fake. And the Dolphins want us to believe that? No. Stephen Ross had to fire somebody and felt like, oh, I think we better fire only the GM. He's been here longer and we're committed. We don't want to start over with a new coach, new system, new voice. It'll make things worse. Except the team is so bad, Stephen, that what you're doing now is you got to make a bunch of trades. So are you saying that Chris Grier is not the guy to make those trades, which is why you fired him? And then you immediately start making trades? Just this morning, you're trading Jalen Phillips to the Eagles for a third-round pick. Who did it? Champ Kelly, your interim GM? That's the decision you made? Or did Mike McDaniel get himself more involved because he's earned the right to have a dual voice? He's gone full Belichick or Parcells, where he has a say in personnel. You surely can't be serious. So heading into a trade deadline, you decide, here's what we'll do to save our season and to appease the fan base. We're going to fire the GM. I guess I would assume that the GM wasn't making any of the trades and it was always McDaniel, but that can't be. I guess I could assume that the GM wasn't making the trades or the signings, that it was always Stephen Ross and Tom Garfinkel. You want me to assume that? You tell me what it is you want me to think you're doing by trading your GM when the trade deadline is approximately. Now, I don't know what time it is where you are. I only know what time it is where I am. And in about 32 hours, there's a trade deadline. Tuesday, 4 p.m. Eastern. That's a dead giveaway what time it is where I am, but you can do the math and figure it out. But you do it. You do you. If you're on DraftKings Network, the math's different. If you're listening to this later in the day, the math is different. But if by chance you're live on the Nothing Personal with David Samson YouTube channel, in addition to hitting subscribe, even if you're not live, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit subscribe. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. Stephen Ross came up with a quote that just, chef's kiss to the PR people in Miami. I have always been and remain committed to building a winning team that consistently competes for championships. That was Steve Ross's statement on Friday. Hold on. Let me go back to Steve Ross. This is when, if we had John Oliver. Hey, Dan. If we had like Pablo's group or if we had John Oliver's group, anything, do you know what we would show right now? There'd be a little square right above my left shoulder or right shoulder, doesn't matter which. And that would go through all the statements Steve Ross has made, as he has made coaching changes, GM changes, player changes. You can't say you've always been and remain committed to building a winning team that consistently competes for championships without saying that you haven't done that at all, period, in a quarter of a century of ownership. But no, the statement continues. I'm incredibly proud of our leadership as an NFL organization and our continued commitment to the community. Hey, folks. Just between us, when we're touting how good we are in the community, we're trying to cover up the fact that we suck. Because when we're good, we talk about how good we are and then throw in, and by the way, what a great bonus that we do stuff in the community. But when you're leading with it, you can't possibly lead with it. Unless you've had 5 playoff appearances since 2001, unless you haven't won a playoff game at all in your ownership, never made it even past the wild card round, obviously, because they haven't won a playoff game. Then I guess you talk about the commitment to the community. As long as the Miami-Dade community keeps giving money to Stephen Ross to do these events around Landshark Stadium, then boom, we are committed. We'll keep giving out those turkeys like it's nobody's business. We'll go through Christmas, wrap some stuff, give it out. Hi, I'm David Samson. I've done it. I've done the turkey drives, the Christmas gift toy drives. I've done the clinics, built the fields, done it all. Does it change one thing about the way you view my tenure in Miami as having won only 1 ring instead of 2 or 10 or 12? But man, Steve Ross just couldn't stop. He couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. He wrote, "There are no excuses. I want to thank the fans for their continued support and passion for this team." Not in the statement. You don't put that passion is now manifested through booze. That passion is manifested through airplanes, flying banners saying fire, sell. Fire, sell. But we want to thank you for your passion. Now comes page 1A of the statement playbook. You, talking about the fans, you deserve a championship caliber team you can be proud of. There's got to be music we can play in the background for this, Coca. This is the biggest crock of crap statement ever, and he didn't stop. There's much work ahead to return the Dolphins to sustained success, and that work begins now. Phew! Thank God. Now, it didn't begin last offseason. It didn't begin in week 1 heading into the season. It didn't begin 2 years ago. We're going to start it now. Why would we choose week 9 as the time to start it? I can't quite answer that. But now's when we're starting. Do people not read the statements they release? Much work ahead, and the work begins now. I'm only, I don't mean, I'm not totally going just after the Dolphins and Steve Ross, but my God, do you make it easy?